So this is a part two of the Hasbro video. Now, I think some people are kind of disgusted by those facts. Personally, I've seen it coming. Mattel in the past have filed for these type of protections as well as many other companies. At one point, Lego almost went bankrupt too, but they're in Denmark, so they're subjected to different types of rules. But basically, for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, also known as reorganization bankruptcy, or some company call it strategic reorganization or transformation, uh, the company is still allowed to operate. They just have to come up with a plan on how to pay back the debtors. The people they owe the money to, pay back the creditors. They are the debtor. But yeah, it's gonna be a very funny situation. Basically, cutting jobs, selling off some assets. Now in the past, Hasbro have sold off their movie studio E1 and all the stuff that they bought. In order to pay off the creditors. And right now they're licensing out a lot of their own properties in order to generate revenue to pay back the debtors. I think this is their plan going forward. And yes, technically you could eliminate some debts using Chapter 11, but you do still have to come up with a plan to pay back the creditors. And generally, the creditors will be okay with people doing Chapter 11. But here's a problem. They had to come up with a plan and then pay them back in the given time period, and that could be take a long time. And there's also another chance that they can get bought out by another company who just gonna take on all the debt and pay off the creditors. I don't really see it happening. I feel like the reason why all this thing is happening right now is because they want to just make more money in order to make the company look better by doing something like this. Essentially, it's pretty simple. They can sell off their assets, lay off employees, and pause paying off their creditors. So on paper, it can look like they're actually, generating a profit to make themselves look good to potential future investors. So anyone who's very unsuspecting about this whole situation, you're just going on to the stock market. You see the stock going up because they're not paying off their debtors and stuff like that, right? The profit will continue to go up. It looks good on paper, and then some people will be dumb enough to try to invest in these companies, therefore giving them more money, and or so they can turn this around. But the damage is already done. They lay off their employees. The employee morale is really, really bad, and I guess people in this industry realize their dirty deeds and stuff like that. So it is actually pretty bad. And here's some stuff about the current CEO. I haven't actually seen something like this recently for CEOs for toy corporations, but this is actually really, really interesting. People are demanding that Chris Cox be removed as CEO, and well, it's done by a customer person who support the product. Again, this is a problem because people at the retail end doesn't really understand the situation. Retail or the consumer, they don't know what the strategy the company is employing. But personally, by looking at the language, really seems like they're trying to go for Chapter 11 and therefore screwing over a lot of people. I mean, they screw over the employee. Most likely, they're gonna be screwing over their creditors and even their investors. Like I said in the previous part, to unsuspecting investors, it may look like the company is just hyperly profiting, but in reality, they're just not paying off their creditors. Imagine not having to pay your credit cards for a couple months and how much money you can save. Not paying your mortgage, your rent, your credit cards, and then you're saving all that money, right? Because they put a pause on it. Kind of like during the COVID era where people don't have to pay their rent, stuff like that. Everything is paused. You don't have to pay your credit card because you're under hardship and stuff like that. It's kind of like that. And then people end up saving up that money and then not paying back the debts and using it to buy more stuff. It's a pretty messed up situation. But yeah, people wanted to get the CEO removed uh, based on their consumer experience about I guess board games and stuff like that. But yeah, poor management decision. It's not actually poor management decision. I would say it's more like malicious management decision. Anyway, thanks for watching. Well, the whole malicious statement, that is just a personal opinion. Obviously, you guys know corporations are, uh, a lot of corporations are just pretty bad in general. In my honest opinion, my personal opinion again, I think businessmen are just as bad as politicians. All they care about is money and their own benefits, and they will do anything, to make a buck. So, as I said before, this is just all part of business, and they do what they have to do to make the company profitable. So it's up to you guys to decide, how you feel about this situation. I just giving you the information based on, educated uh, guess. Again, I don't know. They haven't really filed for Chapter 11 yet, but I think that's what's going to happen. This is all basically building up to this whole Chapter 11 bankruptcy, strategic transformation, or, you know, organization situation. Anyway, thanks for watching.